Online students is a discipline exhibit. Online students can export an HR window. Online students can export an HR window.
Online students, is it clear now? Online students can respond in the short window. Right. What is the heading then? Cinema started. Okay, very perfect. Let's understand that. First, we'll have a basic overview related to that automation, what exactly we are going to perform, and then step by step we'll get started with our actual concepts here. So the very first understanding we have been taking care about in having with software testing, right? So the very first thing we have been taking care about in implementing with software testing. As part of software testing, we need to be taking care about two things here. What are the two things? The one you are considering the manual testing. What is another one? What is it? Automation testing. The one we need to be mentioning the manual testing, and then need to be mentioning the automation testing here. So both are considering the testing only. In that, the one you need to be considering the manual testing, and another one we need to be mentioning the automation testing here. In this, as simple as meaning of manual testing. Meaning of manual testing. Testing done by human interactions here. The meaning of manual testing. The meaning of manual testing, we need to be mentioning the testing done by human interactions here. If we consider this particular one, so the meaning of manual testing, we need to be mentioning the testing done by human interactions here. At the same time, we got automation testing. This particular automation testing, we need to be mentioning the testing done by tool. The one you need to be mentioning the manual testing, and the one you will be mentioning the automation testing. So in case of manual testing, we have to perform. In case of automation testing, done by the tool here. Okay. In this particular one, the one considering the manual testing here. If we get considering this particular part, this particular manual testing as part of our understanding, manual testing will started from requirement documents, which we can consider in the requirements, or I can mention the requirement understanding. And after that, we need to be get mentioning the taking with test plan. After that, we need to be get considering the test scenarios. And then we need to be get mentioning the test cases. After that, test execution. After that, which we will be taking with bug reporting. After that, you need to be get mentioning the test closure. So the one we need to be get mentioning the requirement understanding, test plan, test scenarios, test cases, execution, bug reporting, and then considering the test closure. So as part of manual testing, we need to be get taking care about in implementing all these particular steps. This is what we have been done. Now, in a similar way, we need to be get start with automation testing. Now, see the concept here. The first understanding, manual testing has been started from requirements level. The manual testing has been started from requirements level. The same thing, automation testing. Automation testing is not started from requirement level. See the understanding. Manual testing, it's mandatory that it's need to be get started from requirements here. Automation testing, again, it is not started from requirement level. To start automation testing, we need to begin taking care about. What are you taking care about? Test cases. Based on these particular test cases, we need to get start with automation testing. Based on these particular test cases, we need to get start with automation testing. Now you can understand the importance of manual testing. When you're taking with automation testing, it's not like directly you can start with automation testing. If you want to start with automation testing, what we require? Test cases has been required. That manual test cases has been required. That manual test cases you are implementing or you are writing as part of manual testing. It's not like because of automation testing or once you start automation testing, you are writing with the test cases. As part of the whole manual testing, it's mandatory that you need to write the test cases, you need to take with execution, bug reporting. All those activities need to be done. Once it has been done with all those activities, after that, if required, automation testing will come into the picture. Now, the whole conclusion and your simple understanding, manual testing is started from requirement level. Automation testing started from test cases. Once the test cases are available, we can think about that particular automation testing. Now, if we look into this particular manual testing, that is what the steps we done. We done with requirements, understanding, test plan, test scenarios, cases, execution, bug reporting, test closure. So all these particular things has been done. Now, as part of this training, we need to go with automation testing also. In that, the first understanding, what is the meaning of automation testing? What is the meaning of automation testing? Testing done by tools. That particular tools, it has been divided. It has been divided into two things here. In that, the one will be considering that mentioning about open source. The one will be considering that open source. At the same time, considering that another one which will be taking with paid tools here. Both are automation tools only. That automation tools, it's divided into two groups here. One is open source, another one is paid. The one will be considered open source and another one it will be considering the paid here. Meaning of the paid tools? Meaning of paid? License. You need to take the license from that particular respective companies, and then you need to start working with the tool. You need to start taking with the license from that particular companies, and then you need to start working with the tool here. As simple as just an example. In the market, the one will be considering the paid tool, which need to mentioning about the tool name, considering the QTP. This QTP is considered one automation tool which is related to license here. If you want to work with the QTP, first you have to take license from that particular company, and then you need to start working with the tool. If you want to work with the QTP, first you need to take the license from that particular company, and then you need to start working with the tool here. As simple as the meaning of QTP, we need to mentioning the quick test professional. The meaning of QTP, we need to be mentioning the quick test professional. So what is the meaning of QTP? Quick test professional. If you want to work with the QTP, you need to mentioning the quick test professional. This is one particular tool name. This is considering the one particular tool name here. Okay. After that, taking with one more particular tool. In a market, there are n number of tools are available. In a market, there are n number of tools are available. The one will be considered QTP. After that, we need to be get mentioning that test complete. The tool name considering that test complete. Another one we got RFT. Another one we got RFT. So the one he got mentioned that QTP and then considering that test complete and then mentioning that RFT. Meaning of QTP? Quick test professional. In a similar way, we got test complete. At the same time, RFT. Meaning of RFT. Rational functional tool. Meaning of RFT. Rational functional tool. So the meaning of RFT. The meaning of RFT, we need to be get mentioning that rational functional tool here. Okay. Similar to this, we got one more tool name that will be considering the test partner, not life partner. Life partner is not in a tool here. What is the tool name? What is it? Test partner. So test partner, all these are some of the tool names here. Similar to this, in a market, there are n number of tools are available in the market. All these are considered paid tools here. All these are considered paid tool. If you want to be get work with these tools, if you want to be get work with these particular tool, first you have to take license from that particular respective companies. After that, you need to be get start working with the tool. So first you need to be take license from these particular companies. After that, you need to be get start working with these particular tools here. Okay. Now, similar to this, we got open source. The one you will be considering the paid tool, and another one you need to be get mentioning that open source. The meaning of open source. Meaning of open source. Meaning of open source. Free of cost here. As simple as the meaning of open source, we can consider that free tools here. If you want to be get work with these particular tools, you doesn't require to take any license, or you doesn't require to spend any budget. Just if you're having internet connection, download from the internet. You can just download from the internet and you can start working with the tool. Considering that open source is free of cost. Just if you're having internet connection, you can download it and then you can start working with the tool. Related to that, we need to take with the tool name. What is the tool name we got? What is the tool name? The one will be considered Selenium. So Selenium, you can consider that one open source tool. Apart from that, any other tools? Related to open source. What is it? Zira is management tool. TestNG is not like in a tool. In Amirpet, only one poster Selenium is displayed, sir. There is no other poster, sir. Right. See that. So we got a lot of tools are available in the market. The one you will be considering the Selenium, and then need to be get mentioning the water. And another one we need to be get mentioning about Sahi. And then we need to be get mentioning the considering the Auto IT. And then need to be get mentioning the Sikoli. And one more interesting tool also is there. Considering that. What is the tool name here? Bad boy. No bad girl here. So bad boy tool is there here. Okay. So that is what we got. A number of tools are available in the market. Related to open source. We are having a number of tools are there. It depends on that project requirement, or it depends on that particular client requirement. What are all that particular tools need to be get used. Based on that particular tester comfortable, we can get utilize any of the tool here. So for now, we have been taking care about in working with Selenium. Even though lot of tools are available in the market, for now, we are taking care about in working with Selenium. Why only Selenium? Why not other automation tools? Why only Selenium? Why not other automation tools? That is what we need to understand. Step by step, we will get look into all the things here. So first understanding, we need to be get considering the software testing. The software testing divided into two things here. What are the two things? Manual testing, automation testing. This manual testing, meaning of manual testing? Done by human interactions. Meaning of automation testing? Done by the tool. Manual testing started from requirements level. Automation testing started from, what is it? Test cases. Once we got test cases, based on that particular test cases, we can think about and starting with automation testing. While working with automation testing, it got divided into two things here. The one you will be considering the open source, and then taking with paid here. So these particular paid tool, you need to take the license and need to get start working with the tool. So the meaning of paid tools, you need to be take with the license and need to be get start working with the tool. As an example, the one you got QTP. Meaning of QTP? Meaning of QTP? Quick test professional. Another one, test complete. Another one is RFT. Meaning of RFT? Rational functional tool here. And then we got test partner. So these are all different type of tools are there in a similar way related to open source. You got open source, related to open source. We got Selenium, Water, Sahi. All these are a number of tools. There are a number of tools are available in the market. We need to understand that. So why client has been interested to work with Selenium, or why the market has been going with Selenium? Why not other automation tools here? So let's understand in a very detail. This part is done? Written, right? Okay. So now let's understand our actual importance. We need to be get understood what make you advantages. What make you advantages of these particular Selenium. If we look into the client, why clients are more interested to work with Selenium? Why not other automation tools here? So let's understand in a very detail. So one by one, we'll get understand on it, which we will be mentioning about taking with these things here. Okay. So now you can see here. So we need to be get understood what make you having with difference of these things here. So the one we need to be get mentioning the one we need to be get mentioning the taking with open source here. So the reason we are getting with market for this particular one, we need to be get mentioning the open source here. Meaning of open source? Meaning of open source, which we will be taking with free of cost. So the meaning of open source is which we can consider that free of cost. Mentioning that you doesn't require to spend any budget to work with the Selenium. Just if you're having internet connection, you can download from the internet and you can start working with the tool. The main reason and very most important reason, the main reason and the very most important reason to get more market for the Selenium. What is the first reason? What is the first reason? Open source. The very first reason we can considering that which it will be taking with open source here. Okay. And after that, taking with another advantage. After that, taking with another advantage. The meaning of open source. The meaning of open source, that is free of cost. Another advantage, say that supports for multiple browsers. Selenium will be supporting for multiple browsers. It is not like restricted to any one browser. Based on your project, you can work with Firefox browser or you can take with Chrome browser, which you will be taking with Chrome browser, or you will be mentioning about Edge browser. Like this, there are a number of browsers. Whatever the browser is there, it will be supported by Selenium. So Selenium is not having any restrictions. While working with the Selenium, it is not having any restriction. Based on that particular project requirement or client requirement, you can get utilize any of the browser. At the same time, you need to be get mentioning the taking with. At the same time, you need to be get mentioning about taking with multi-browser support. It can work with multiple browser. There is no restriction. To get work with any browser here. Apart from that, need to be get mentioning about multi-language support. One is multi-browser support. Another one is multi-language support. Now, considering with the Selenium, how many languages it will support? No, count of the languages. 4 to 5. 2 languages. Still 3. 2 is done, 3 is done, 4 is done, 5 is done. Still. N number. Okay. This particular Selenium will be supported for how many languages? It will support with 6 languages. A very rare cases you will be having with the tool where it can support for more languages. Here Selenium is one of the tool which can support for multiple languages. That you will be considering the 6 languages. In that, your favorite? Java. After that, Python. Okay. After that, .NET. That is what you can consider. That .NET you can consider C#. Okay. After that, PHP. It will support. Next, English. English, Telugu, Hindi, Telangana, Urdu, Marathi. Still 2 more C, not C language. Java already done. Not JavaScript. Ruby. How many languages? How many languages? 6 he got or not? Knowing 6 languages? As part of full stack tester. Sorry, full stack developer. Okay. So this particular Selenium, how many languages it is supporting? 6 languages here. Because of 6 languages, it's not like you will be taking all the trainings here. Selenium will be the same. Just in a place of Java syntax, you will be taking with Python syntax. Just your Selenium will be the same. Syntax will make the difference of other languages. So Selenium has been supporting with multiple browser, and at the same time, it is supporting with mentioning about multiple languages here. Similar to this, we got one more option. Platform. Meaning of platform? What is it? Operating system. Meaning of the platform, you can considering the operating system. This particular Selenium is supporting for Windows operating system, and then considering the Mac operating system, and then considering the Linux operating system. We are not having any restrictions. We are not having any restrictions to work with any of the tool. We are not having any restriction to work with any of these language. Working with the Selenium, it depends on client comfortable which language need to be used. That it will also decided based on that client or based on that particular project. It will be decided that what is the language need to be used. So the one will be considered multi-browser support, multi-language support. After that, multi-platform here. So these are main reasons. These are main reasons which it will be taking with features of Selenium, or you can consider the advantages of Selenium. We got other advantages. We got other technical advantages are there that you will understand in the coming part. So for today, you can consider that these are the main reason why we are getting more market for Selenium. So what is the first reason? What is the first reason? Open source. After that, supports for multiple browsers. And after that, supports for multi-language. After that, supports for multiple platform. So these are a very general reason why we are getting in a market while working with Selenium tool here. Apart from this, when you guys has been, apart from this, if you guys consider in detail what make you advantages, that you will get to know. But before going to that, let's understand what exactly the meaning of Selenium. Let's understand what exactly the meaning of this particular Selenium. Now, according to your understanding, if anyone is asking that, what is mean by Selenium? What you will answer? Selenium is open source tool, okay? Testing tool, okay? Supports for multiple browsers. Supports for multiple languages. Supports for multi-platform. Those things will consider as advantage. But my question is, what is mean by Selenium? Testing tool. Okay. Automation tool. Wow, very perfect. Still. What is it? Identifying the bugs, that is a testing. Improve the quality, that is why testing required. That is not my question. Okay. See that how we can mention. Whatever the answers we have been provided, all the answers are perfectly correct according to the Amirpet here. Okay. Now, as part of the real time, the meaning of Selenium, we need to be mentioning that API having components here. If we consider the Selenium, it is clearly mentioning that okay. Now consider that this particular API, meaning of API, application protocol or programming? Application programming interface. The meaning of API, we need to be mentioning the application programming interface. So why we are considering that you will understand. So for now, going forward in any interview, if anyone is asking that what is mean by Selenium, you can mention that Selenium is one API. Selenium is one API having group of components here. Okay, done. In that first component, we need to be mentioned that the first component mentioning the Selenium IDE, and then consider Selenium RC, and then mentioning the Selenium WebDriver, and then considering the taking with Selenium Grid. So if we consider this particular Selenium, it's not like just one particular tool or individual component. It's a one API. We need to be mentioning that Selenium is one API having group of components here. In that, what is the first component we got? What is the first component? Selenium IDE. After that, Selenium RC. After that, Selenium WebDriver. After that, Selenium Grid. Okay, right. So now we can see that which it will be taking with these particular things. Now, Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE. Right. Selenium IDE. Meaning of IDE? Same. Integrated Development Environment. So the meaning of IDE, we need to be mentioning the Integrated Development Environment. Functionality of Selenium IDE. Functionality of Selenium IDE. We can consider that. We can consider that record. We can consider that record and which it will be taking with playback. So the functionality of Selenium IDE, we can consider that record and playback. Okay. Now we can see at the same time drawback. At the same time drawback. The drawback of Selenium IDE. The drawback of Selenium IDE need to be mentioning that. So the one functionality. What is the functionality of Selenium IDE? Record and playback. We can record with the script. We can record with the script and we can play back that particular script. We can record with the script and which need to be mentioning the taking that particular playback. Okay. Now we can see here. The drawback is need to be consider programming. The drawback is need to be consider programming. Functionality of Selenium IDE. Record and playback. Drawback. Programming. Okay. To get overcome that particular drawback, that particular drawback, you will be taking with the help of another component. What is another component? What is it? Selenium RC. Meaning of RC? Meaning of RC, not your TV remote control here. So the meaning of RC, remote control, related to Selenium automation. Related to Selenium automation, we need to be mentioning the remote control. The meaning of Selenium RC, you can considering the remote control. Okay. This particular Selenium RC, functionality. The functionality is related to programming. Functionality of Selenium RC related to programming. After that, drawback, which you will be taking with drawback. The drawback of Selenium RC. The drawback of Selenium RC. See the drawback. The drawback of Selenium RC, client and server. So the drawback of Selenium RC, considering the client and server. So client is the drawback, server is the drawback. What is mean by client? What is mean by client? What is mean by server? You will understand. For now, you can mention the drawback of Selenium RC. What is the drawback of Selenium RC? client and server. Okay, just one. Right. Now, see that. What is the functionality of Selenium RC? Programming. What is the drawback? Client and server. What is mean by client? What is mean by server? That you will understand. For today, you can consider that. For today, you can consider that functionality of Selenium RC, considering that programming. Drawback of Selenium RC, client and server. Okay. Next we got another component. What is it? Selenium WebDriver. The functionality of Selenium WebDriver. The functionality of Selenium WebDriver, we need to be get mentioning the programming. The functionality of Selenium WebDriver, we need to be get mentioning the programming. Drawback, not like any major drawback, that you will understand. Advantages, programming, that is one advantage. Apart from that, while working Selenium WebDriver, while working the Selenium WebDriver, there is no concept of client and no concept of server. While working with the Selenium WebDriver, there is no concept of client and no concept of server. Everything internally, it will be taking care of it. Everything internally, it will be taking care of it, considering that, providing that advantages programming. Okay. And the same time, we got Selenium Grid. Functionality of Selenium Grid. Functionality of Selenium Grid. You need to be taking care about doing all the programming. Apart from this, all the programming, all the script you can do in WebDriver, you can execute in WebDriver. Apart from that, in the project, if you got any requirement of to execute automation script, in multiple browsers or multiple system. If you want to get execute your automation script in multiple browser or multiple system, then you will be taking with Selenium Grid here. So as simple as the one you will be taking with Selenium IDE and then taking with Selenium RC and then Selenium WebDriver and then considering the Selenium grid. So now if we consider with the Selenium, what is the meaning of Selenium? What is the meaning of Selenium? Selenium is one API having group of components here. Meaning of API? Application Programming Interface. What is the first component? Selenium IDE. Functionality of IDE? Functionality of Selenium IDE. Record and playback. Drawback of IDE? Programming. To overcome that, what we are using? Selenium RC. Meaning of RC? Remote control. Functionality of Selenium RC? What is it? Programming. Drawback of Selenium RC? Client and server. Okay. To overcome this drawback, what we are using? Selenium WebDriver. What is the functionality of Selenium WebDriver? Doing with programming. Taking with the drawback, not like that major drawback. It is have, but not like any major drawback. What is the last component you got? Selenium grid. What is the use of that? To execute automation scripts in multiple browsers or multiple systems. To execute automation scripts in multiple browsers or multiple systems, taking with Selenium grid. In this, according to current market, Selenium IDE has been totally outdated. Selenium RC totally outdated. The only main component, what is it? What is it? Selenium WebDriver. Selenium grid also, it depends on it when you have to use it. But developing automation script, you will be taking with Selenium WebDriver. Okay. So we need to be get understanded. Doing with the programming with the help of Selenium WebDriver. So before going to that or working on that, still you need to be get understand some more concept. As part of this training program, we got a possibility in taking care about some more concept here. In that, the one you will be mentioning about TestNG or you will be taking with JUnit. While working Selenium WebDriver, we need to be take with the help of TestNG or we need to be take with the help of JUnit. For JUnit, advanced is TestNG. You can consider like JUnit previous version, TestNG is the higher version. As simple as for the JUnit next version, you will be taking with TestNG. What exactly mean by this? The very simple understanding. We are working Selenium. Is there any connectivity of the components? No. Every component is an individual component. While working these particular individual component, if we execute our automation script, after execution, right? So after execution, is there any reports has been generated? After execution of any of the program, while working with the Selenium, there is no chance of these scripts results has been generated. You may work with Selenium IDE or Selenium RC, WebDriver or Grid. There is no concept of providing the reports or providing the results saying that one test case passed or one test case failed or taking with 10 test case passed. That kind of reporting is not possible in Selenium. Because of that, to generate that kind of reports, we are taking with the help of TestNG. This JUnit you can consider as outdated, but which will be working TestNG. You will take with the TestNG, with the help of TestNG. With the help of TestNG, you need to be get generating with HTML reports. You need to be get generate with HTML reports. As simple as by default, Selenium is not able to generate any of the reports. Because of that, we are taking with the help of TestNG. With the help of TestNG, we are generating with HTML reports. Okay. Apart from this, need to be taking with. Apart from this, need to be mentioning the automation frameworks. Apart from this, you will be mentioning the automation frameworks. This automation framework is the main one. As part of automation framework, we need to be taking care about in working with hybrid framework and then mentioning the POM framework. So as part of this particular automation framework, the one you will be taking with hybrid and the one you will be taking with POM. So now in this particular training program, as part of your full stack, as part of your training program, I'm stopping up to this particular concept of frameworks. I'm stopping up to the concept of framework. That means first I need to start WebDriver. Before getting started with WebDriver, we need to be understanded. Okay. We need to be understanded, need to be mentioning about having with. First, we are not looking into Selenium IDE or we are not looking into Selenium RC here. So we need to be taking care about taking with this particular Selenium WebDriver. So we need to be taking care about this particular Selenium WebDriver only. This particular Selenium WebDriver, we need to write basic program and we need to write advanced programs here. So that we'll understand in a very detail. Along with WebDriver, we will understand working with WebDriver with the combination of TestNG. And then it will be taking with WebDriver with frameworks. As part of this particular hybrid framework, by the completion of our session, in this hybrid framework, you will be understanding WebDriver plus TestNG plus test suite plus log4j plus Jenkins plus GitHub. Okay. Up to this, I'll be continued. So as part of our hybrid framework, we need to be get mentioning about taking with WebDriver, TestNG, TestSuite, Log4j, Jenkins, GitHub. So that I'll be stopping it. After that, I'll be taking with the POM. So by POM, I'll be stopping with the other sessions here. So for doing all these things, it will take enough time. Along with all these things, we require core Java here. That core Java knowledge, you have to take care of it. I'm not discussing any concepts related to core Java. So related to core Java, I'm not discussing any concepts here. You need to be get looking to that. So directly, I'll be taking with one project. Manual testing, you done one project. What is the project you done? Adapting. Similar to that. This automation also, the Selenium WebDriver, this particular Selenium WebDriver, it will be doing with the help of the project. The Selenium WebDriver also, it will be doing with the help of the project. So this is what just I given the overview. What is mean by Selenium? What we are going to discuss as part of our training program related to Selenium automation. Still lot of other things are there, but we are not looking into all those particular things. We have been taking care about this particular concept here. So related to manual testing, you got in a PDF file. Similar to that, related to the automation testing also, going forward, I'll provide the PDF file that it will be uploaded in the Google Classroom. So from tomorrow, I'll be getting started with our actual sessions of automation. Today, I given that overview, what is mean by Selenium, what we are going to learn. So from tomorrow, we'll be taking with Selenium tool and we will understand that how exactly we can develop that particular automation scripts here. Okay. So take care about all the things and take care about core Java concepts also up to OOPS concepts. Not required taking with collection frameworks or all the things here. Take care about up to OOPS concepts here. That is what main thing has been required. So look into that. From tomorrow I'll start with actual concepts here. Okay. Clear? Carry on. Thank you.